I worked at a technology company that most people had never heard of. It wasn't a startup anymore, but it wasn't a giant corporation either, just big enough for pressure, politics, and egos to quietly grow behind closed doors. I was hired as a senior analyst, not a manager, not someone with authority, but someone the company relied on when real problems needed real solutions. 6 months into the job, the company was struggling with rising operational costs. Projects were going over budget, departments were blaming each other, executives wanted answers. That's when my manager asked me to look into it. I didn't just look into it, I built a complete system. For months, I worked late nights and weekends. I analyzed data, created financial models, tested different scenarios, and documented everything. Slowly, a clear solution emerged. The system I created could reduce operational costs by 23% without layoffs. I was proud of it. As I developed the idea, I shared progress updates with my manager. Every draft went through company email. Every discussion happened on Slack. Every file was saved with timestamps and version history. My manager's responses were always short. Interesting. Looks good. Let me review this. I thought he trusted me. When the project was finished, I sent him the final version and asked when we would present it together. He replied, "I'll handle the presentation." 2 weeks later, I received an invitation to a board meeting. The email said I was invited as an observer. That already felt strange. I joined the meeting and sat quietly at the end of the room. Executives filled the table. Then my manager stood up. He began presenting a new cost-saving strategy. Within seconds, my stomach dropped. It was my work. My structure, my charts, my language, even the same examples I had used in my documentation. Slide after slide, he spoke confidently about his idea. I waited for him to mention my name. He never did. When the meeting ended, executives congratulated him. They praised his leadership and vision. I felt invisible. After the room cleared, I confronted him privately. I told him the system was mine and asked why he hadn't credited me. He didn't apologize. He smiled, and then he said something that changed everything. "You work for me. Everything you create belongs to me." I went to Human Resources the same day. They listened politely, nodded, and then told me to let it go. They said ideas weren't property. They said this kind of thing happens all the time. They suggested I focus on being a team player. That night, I couldn't sleep. Instead of arguing, I opened my employment contract. I read every page carefully. That's when I found it. Clause 7.3, Intellectual Attribution. It clearly stated that original work must be credited to its creator by name, even when developed for the company. HR was wrong. The contract was on my side. From that moment, I stopped talking and started documenting. I saved every email, every Slack message, every file version. I even saved the message where my manager said, "I'll handle the presentation." Then I hired a lawyer. He reviewed the evidence quietly. After a long pause, he looked at me and said, "This is one of the cleanest cases I've seen." Legal papers were sent to my manager. He laughed at first. He stopped laughing when the company launched an internal investigation. During discovery, his lawyer tried to argue that the project was collaborative. Then, the metadata was presented. Every original file listed me as the author. Every timestamp proved the idea existed months before his presentation. In court, the judge asked one simple question. If this was your idea, Why were all original files created by your employee? There was no good answer. The ruling came quickly. Intellectual theft, contract violation, misrepresentation to executives. My manager was terminated. The project was pulled and reviewed under my name. I was publicly credited and promoted. The company paid a settlement. And suddenly, HR remembered exactly who I was. I still work there today, but I work differently now. I document everything. If you think this kind of thing could never happen to you, you're wrong. It happens every day. Document your work. Read your contracts. Because silence doesn't protect you. It protects them.